We getting into it. It all starts with a gentle sadness. This is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I'm your host. 8 Wind is timeless. I am holder of the continuous ball game of the Hero Twins. I am the Galactic Daddy-O sitting on my terrace pyramid galactic patio. Welcome one, all, everybody. How is your funk? Intellica. Let me tell y'all. If y'all think I'm jiving, let me show you. Look at that shit there. That shit says minus 11. You see that shit? Minus 11. The wind chill is minus 17. With a wind chill advisory, don't go the fuck out. Look at that. Minus damn 11. It's like when you go out and wear your mask, like it helps with the hawk, but it's out there. It is definitely out there. Strong discernment. What's happening? Thank you for joining me. Unique breed. Hey, thank you for joining me. There he is, Chief Blazing. How you guys? Your guys ain't been doing so good. Chiefin', what's up? What's up with you guys, man? They ain't been hooping. They're a little weak this year. I guess I'll wait on that. Well, tonight we are definitely drinking Alaskan Amber from Alaska Brewing Company. Drink them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. Look at that fine color, baby. This ain't Miller Lite or Bud Light. Nothing of the sort. So what's going on? Tom Brady is going to win with the Super Bowl. Well, let me say this. I'm going to start off, and it's kind of fucked up. It really is. Things are fucked up as far as, you live your life, you come across people, and it's sometimes it's just lucky that when you're young and you come across other young people, it's just a kind of amazing time. Especially young people that in a time, in a period where something meant something. And I say that, and I've told this story before. If people have checked my workouts, I've told this story many times. So in 1978, Leon Spinks beats Ali. I don't know what happened because Butch Lewis stayed as manager. But for some reason, my family friend, my stepfather's best friend, Hank Grooms, starts managing Leon. So Leon rents a mansion from one of the affluent families called the Gilmores. And I'm 17, 7, 6. He's about 25, maybe 26. When he beat Ali, he wasn't that old. He had only had, I think, 5 or 6 professional fights. They showed his first fight on TV. They were setting everybody up to accepting. But again, Leon won the gold medal. Remember that. So Leon comes to Kalamazoo, living in this mansion, and he parties. He starts liking one of my cousins. So we go into this party, and he's talking shit about my friend because my friend was one of the baddest niggas I knew. The baddest nigga I really knew was called Elmer Weatherspoon. And I watched Elmer beat up about 8 police officers. I mean, really whooped their ass when they tried to jump him. My best friend stood up to him. Now, my best friend, they called him Sneak. I imagined Elmer owned a type of candy store, record store. He was the first dude I knew that would make tapes and stuff for people. And my friend didn't blink. We was in there, and I had bought something. My friend was probably stealing. I don't know. But him and Elmer got into it. My friend didn't blink. Just shows you my friend was the real deal. So we walk in, Leon and his boys walk up to us, and he starts talking shit about my friend. He's like, "Yeah, everybody talking about Jerry Davenport. Ain't nobody scared of Jerry Davenport." And my friend stuck his ass. We was both 17. He straight up stuck the heavyweight champion. I mean, he didn't say shit, just stuck him. And it stunned Leon. His boys had to catch him or he would have fell. My friend just pow and caught this nigga off guard, blasted him, and his friends caught him. So we didn't really think shit about it. They took the nigga away from us. We didn't think nothing else about it. The thing about it was my cousins, all these women I know. So we go sit at a table full of women. Leon likes my cousin. So Leon comes over and buys us all drinks and forgets about the shit. The hell? And within minutes, Leon was in front of everybody talking about freak train. It was a dance we would do to freak. You just kind of get on a woman and you would just do this. But everybody would get in line and do it. And here's the heavyweight champion with about 30, 40 people behind him talking about freak train. And he was all around Kalamazoo. And so it's sad to talk about him. Now, we know he's been sick for a while, but it's still fucked up. You know, he wasn't that old a cat. He'd been suffering for a minute. You know, he fought for the heavyweight champion a couple times after Ali lost both of them. And so I do come with a heavy heart. I'll be honest. Now, it also reminded me, again, the Spinks brothers are from Missouri. And if y'all remember Robin Harris, and Robin Harris had one of the funniest jokes ever about Leon, because they were pretending like someone was interviewing Leon. And so they was like, "Now, Leon, how does it feel to win the heavyweight championship?" And he's like, "Well, you know what? I'm the heavyweight champion, and I be fighting good, and they be going, Leon, huh?" He called himself and he answered himself. And when no one can forever forget what Richard Pryor said about him. Richard Pryor said, "How do you get arrested for $2.50 worth of cocaine?" He was like, "I don't have no driver's license, I don't have no TFIS, and I don't have no cocaine." Richard Pryor roasted him, but all in good humor. So we hope that brother's in, rest in peace. From the football aspect, I was even listening to. It's funny. I just listened to Zach talking about the Spinks brothers and Robin Harris all being from Missouri. We know Brady 19 years ago beat the Rams of Missouri. We'll see if that's the play. Again, long as the Chiefs don't cover, I hope Brady wins. But if the Chiefs win by a point or two, so what have I missed? I'm sorry. I was kind of caught up into my rap. So I'll start saying what's happening to everybody. Oh. Ziggy, Tom Brady is going to win. I hope so. Good evening, A-Wind, and all the rest. Hey, GR, thank you. Draco, Kodak Black just got cloned like Gucci Mane. It does appear so. I would agree with that. Kodak's cloned. Y'all be missing synthetics too. He can be put in a synthetic. I don't know. That's what it looked like. I know what y'all talking about. To me, that looked more synthetic. Clones don't be as clean looking as that. There's a sloppiness to the cloning. Just like on not Legion, but Preacher, when they had the different Jesuses and the Jesuses would be off, that's cloning. Did y'all get that? Remember how the Jesuses would be off? He looked more synthetic. That's the first thing that came to mind to me, was more of a synthetic. That's not Yak. The government got his ass. Yeah, they did. He had to pay for his fame, no doubt. But he been sick for a minute. And they've been, like I was saying, they keep Muggs alive. They kept him alive. He been sick for a minute, and they kept him alive until now. No doubt about that. They kept him alive. I don't believe anything less. Jason, thank you for joining. One of my good friends with Peter Kid Chocolate Quillen, he signed a deal with Al Heyman, never heard from him again. I think he sold out. Could have been. Could have been. I don't think he's cloned, but I do believe they go through a psychological transformation through becoming bots for the cabal. Could be. Hey, what's up, Tiger Strong? What's happening? Thank you for joining. Curry was on fire. I just know the Timberwolves got their ass whooped, so I miss Curry. Damn, I miss Curry tonight. Curry dropped. Okay, I missed that. I didn't see that. I got to watching the Pacific War and shit, so I missed that. Peter Quinn to me, 3 fights against Danny Jacobs. A dive in the first round. Wow. Wow, strong discernment. My pick looking nice on God. What happened to your other channel? Plugs, you know. Why are you asking that? Where you come from? Where you come from, Plugs, to ask that? What you think happened to it? Do you see LeBron's 2 threes and double to close out the Pistons in the circus show? No, I missed the Pistons. Edward Bailey, thank you for joining me. Andy Reid tried to sacrifice his son. It looked like the grandson too. When is Zachary Hubbard back on YouTube? Yeah, he was on. He did the show today. I think it's sports or some shit. Yep, caught him to look earlier. Gucci Mane, 100% sure. Hello all. Hey, Crazy Stars, thank you for joining. I don't know, Draco. Look at synthetics. Look at synthetics. Ain't no way they're gonna let Brady lose to a black quarterback. I don't think so either. Did you watch the Warriors game? Luca and Curry put on the show. Oh, you know what? That's right. I did watch some of it. I turned it though. I was watching the Pacific War. Pacific War where that dude killed 200. That's pretty good. That one was a pretty good one. Y'all Mahomes fanboys. Did Andy Reid sacrifice someone? Did you hear something about a car accident? Yeah. His son was drunk driving. Everyone was saying. I'm gonna head and file for bankruptcy. That's funny. This new rapper, Liban, is an NBA young boy. Okay, Kane. It would be the NFL's best interest to let the Chiefs win. Well, it's not going to be as believable for Brady winning. It's really, if Brady wins, it's going to make our point stronger about fixed games. Them being at home, I mean, it's really going to make our point stronger. That would be my defense about Brady winning. Now, the Chiefs winning and not covering, I think people accept. And the Chief win, I'm not saying people want to accept it, but a Bucks win, it's going to be a little harder for people to believe. A little harder. But watching their sets, I mean, it would be. So I think so in that regards. You from Minnesota? I'm in Eden Prairie. Oh, bet. I'm not far. I'm down at Prior Lake. I got the wrench. Brady fixing to catch it at 7. Thank you. They would let Krowski go out because the man would be at WrestleMania 73. Yeah. Mahomes taking an L. I think if they win, they ain't gonna cover. So they want Brady to be the best athlete ever. Yes, I agree with that. I've been saying this all week. Yep. I would be mad as if Brady wins again. I would kind of be mad too, Gideon. RFG and Zach have picked Bucks. That's a death sentence. 2 agents. Brady win 3 in a row, just like Brian. Dwight Smith, former Bucks DB, Super Bowl, said in the radio the game is not decided. It's right. And Tony and the other geometries have Chiefs. Hello. Hey, Mr. T Gaming. Zach picked both teams in the way he can claim he called. That's funny. RFG ain't an agent. I'm not speaking bad on anybody. Damn, I forgot what I was going to talk about. Yeah. So check this out. The Chiefs have something like 12 brothers that's coaching. He's the Buccaneers are the only team that has 4 brothers that are coordinator. Leftwich, Todd Bowles, the special teams coach. Now, I don't think people understand the position of the special teams coach. Only 2 people address the whole team, the head coach and the special team coach. So in some aspects, the special team coach directs the whole team. And so they're used to directing personnel. I don't think people realize that. And then they have him, and then they have the assistant head coach that I think he runs the running schemes. and they have two sisters that work with him. But I was like, wow, all these brothers on Arian's staff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And I find it interesting. And the point is that they say 12, which we know is 3, and it's Black History Month. Be reminded that you're a nigga. Black History Month is really nigga month. So let's see. Y'all arguing about Zach Pick. RF ain't an agent. RF ain't an agent. Go check out his new vid. He stated these other YouTube brainwashers. So I talked to him over the phone. Oh, he's valid. Okay. He only said that because he's an agent himself. Wow. I thought he was at the first. Now, what did I tell you? Now, we're not going to be talking about other folks. All right. Now, I said that shit the other night. We're not going to be talking about other folks. Hold that shit. This ain't the place to come do that dirty laundry. I ain't got nothing against RFG. I ain't got nothing against Zach. They do their shit. I know Zach got upset when I said, that what his thing is, but I still say the same thing. But I'm not gonna say yay or nay attacking him. He do his thing, and that's him. So be men. Be men. Man ain't got to talk about other men. You a man, so you talk about your shit. You ain't got to talk about nobody else. That's what a man is. You stand on it. So you ain't got to talk about somebody else. You already know. If you know, then what you talking about it for? You ain't got to defend nobody. You ain't got to attack nobody, especially if you're a man. Now, you attack people that deserve attacks. I'm not saying that if they don't deserve attack, but I really don't like to use this platform to attack other people. You can agree to disagree, but be men. Be men. That's all I ask for. Brady is 5 TDs from 600. Oh, okay. So the referees that helped Brady win Super Bowl against Seahawks and Falcons will be a Super Bowl ref, and they have a woman reffing too. They have a woman reffing too. You can be an agent without even knowing it nowadays. You pretty stupid if you are, and not to say there aren't stupid people. You know the deals. I mess with Mag, Bitter Truth. Is he still on? I haven't saw one of Mag's things in almost a year. 90% of YouTubers are scammers and agents. Yeah, Gideon, interesting. Jason Heathen. I haven't seen Mag in over a year. I didn't know he was still on. Getting a prediction wrong myself doesn't make you an agent. It's just only if you consistent. There you go. Yep. Draco Tunes, Super Bowl 43 was in Tampa Bay. 7 Big Ben won, and now Brady 43 winning Super Bowl. Well, I've stated pretty clearly that I'm taking the point, so I hope Tampa Bay wins. And I'm not changing that. That's where my money is. I'm going over too. I'm betting on the over 56. And I say the only way, and I'll repeat this, the only way that Kansas City will win is by not covering. They won't cover. They'll win by 2 or 3. But if they don't win by 2 or 3, then it's going to be a straight up Bucks win. Straight up Bucks win. Now, Jason Pierre-Paul and that other linebacker, they going to be on his ass. You can bet that. The Chiefs have a new tackle. One of their linemen is a replacement. Even though he's a big dude, he's slow-footed. I mean, I was watching the game the other night, and he is he does not – they're going to give him trouble. And I think he is the new left tackle, or he's the new right tackle. I forget. Remember, the Chiefs lost, I think, their left tackle, or maybe the right tackle. I can't remember which one. But they lost him, and this other guy's playing that ain't a starter. He's a big dude, but his feet aren't right. I've got Bucks winning 2. Brady will get it. 8-win, nervous. What I'm nervous about? This is going to be a defensive struggle. It might be a close game. I've only known that only small YouTubers that get taken down. Huh? Yeah, sometime, Jason. What's funny is Bucks played AFC West team Raiders now and Chiefs, and the same stuff with the Steelers when they played Seahawks. Yeah, but we've seen that because like when the Raiders beat the Eagles, it was they had played before. Well, shit, they had actually played before. So they've done this before where the teams played each other and then they play each other again. That's nothing new. That's something they have done consistently. they kind of give them a they kind of give you a preview in some ways. It's kind of a tease. So 16, 15, or 23-7 Chiefs printed for the Bucks to put a super similar performance to 2002. Yeah, strong discernment. I can see that. Buccaneers are the 5 Steelers because the Steelers wore away jerseys the whole postseason. They won the Super Bowl just like Bucks now wearing away jerseys but being the home team technically. 25-21. Well, whatever's going to get me to 56, I don't care. I hope it's a blowout. The score has to be 3-7. Well, it's gonna we need 56 points, so that's 23-23. So it's gonna be something like 29-23 or 31-27. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. That feels right. 31-27. That's what I'm putting. 31-27 Bucks. And let me see. Okay. But and then I'm gonna just say I'm still gonna pick the 31, but if the Chiefs win, it'll be 29-31. Yep. So if the Chiefs do win, it'll be 29-31. But if the Chiefs lose, it'll be 31-27. And so, hey, long as the Bucks win and cover and win by 3, then I'm good. So that's what I'm looking at. And the number 7 keeps popping up. Tiger Strong. Okay. I did too, Draco. I really like right now. Look at what they're trying to do to Brett Favre. He ain't giving up. Brett Favre talking about he gonna take less money. Why would they want Brett Favre? There's no reason that Brett Favre should play pro football anymore. He's not good enough. Did you see that though? Brett Favre asked for reduced salary. He agreed to reduce salary. Why they want him? Why would they let him waste another season with him instead of playing Jameson or Hill? That just shows you agenda driven. They want to keep these old statues that just stand there. And you see how the wife tried to make up for Breeze, talking about he had a bad arm, torn rotator cuff. You don't play sports with a torn rotator cuff. You quit. You shut it down. No one, if you play baseball and they found that out, there's no way you would play another game. This quarterback and a pitcher is very similar. It's no way you would let him play with a torn rotator cuff after supposedly having 5 broken ribs and a punctured lung. No way you would play. But we'll see. The coding is leaning towards the Bucks, but don't think it's going to happen for them though. They will make Mahomes choke like McNabb. No, they're going to shame him like Wilson. It's going to be the shaming like Wilson. He is going to be in the red zone and throw some kind of interception, or he's going to do like Peyton Manning did against St. Louis, or against, the Saints. It's going if Mahomes loses, it's going to be him losing at the end. They're going to do the exact same shaming ritual they did to Wilson, and then come saying some lie. We don't want so and so to be the MVP. We wanted Wilson to be MVP. So that's why we did that play that the Patriots had practiced against since last summer. And they showed the film of the Patriots practice against that very same play against the preseason game against the Seahawks. So do you see how they mock us? So it'll be that kind of mocking. All signs point to Tom. I would say so. Terry Porter intercepted. Tracy Porter intercepted Peyton Manning. There you go. 37-34 Bucks. And you see that Terry Porter got fired from the Portland WNBA team today too. He had a losing record. He was like 40 and 100 and something. Surprised he didn't get fired years before. But he lost his job today. He'll be picked up by somebody though. That's a good old. Remember the Super Bowl? It was yesterday. I think a lot of players will start taking a year off or two due to the brutality of the game. It may become the norm. Brady age and record after win it's in Super Bowl. Would give Brown a ring though. Yeah, it would give Brown a ring. He's kind of iffy still, they're saying. But I expect him to play. I told you siblings to bet the house on Brady. And thank me. Well, I didn't bet the house, but I did bet damn near the car. Andrew Luck might come back. I want to touch on that too, because that's a real thing. It's like if you don't like, say you break your hand and you had hand surgery, you might miss the whole season. And it's the kind of injury where you could still work out the whole year. And the thing about football, especially if it happens when you're young, that if you miss a season, it ain't really that bad. And you can kind of stay in shape, something like that. Like if you had a hand or arm problem, it's not that bad to take the season off, even to play half season. Football is a very brutal game in respects. Again, you do the scout teams, that's hard practice. The days that they do that, they stop hitting as much in all football because a lot of it was unnecessary. And I'll be honest, I thought my coaches, especially my high school coaches, were sadistic because the Oklahoma drill, what was the need for that? And I never understand. I'll even say my college coach, I never understood why they wanted to beat their players up. I never understood that on any level. I never understood the point of beating your players up in practice. And it seemed like coaches got off on that, actually beating the players up in practice, doing them stupid ass drills. My son was playing on a peewee team. They had a drill where you pretty much had one person, everybody else was like in 10-yard increments, and you had to run through everybody. He did it one time, and I watched that shit, and I stepped up, and they was like, well, Keelan, do it again. I was like, hell no. Hell no. Coaches got upset. I pulled him out. Like, I ain't doing it. You beat on him again like that shit where all these 11 people tackling every minute? The fuck you get that drill from? Well, we were just trying to teach people to tackle. I'm like, well, you're not beating my son up by having 11, 12 different people tackle him. No way that's a good drill. Wanted to beat their ass, to be honest. Because he did it one time and it kind of irritated me. He did it one time. And then they said, do it again. I'm like, hell no, he's not going to. They was like, please don't, discredit us in front of the team. I'm like, you're not going to beat my son up like that. The fuck is wrong with y'all? So coaches beat the players up so they want them off the team. Draco, nah, I'm trying to see Ravens or Browns, Seahawks next season, huh? Because they went up 23 and can't score the rest of the game. Whatever it is. I do think they're going to shrink the amount of players on the field. Linebackers are being phased out. So are defensive tackles. It's more nose guards. But you have to be at a sack. It's like what Sue started and what Aaron does. If you play tackle or nose guard, you got to be able to sack. It's no longer the person that's nose guard or tackle that you can't sack. But yeah, they're getting rid of. But see, I can see. The problem is, I think they should get rid of the helmets. To be honest, I watch a lot of rugby and I watch Australian rules football. They don't have the head issues. It doesn't seem. I saw a little bit where they talk about a few of the older players did have some concussion issues, but it didn't seem to spread out. I've even watched some rugby and then older rugby players and how they fare. And it seems to be the helmets are the problem. I remember when there was a push in Michigan talking about not having to, like here in this state, you don't need a motorcycle. Like you don't need a helmet to ride a motorcycle. And I did see evidence where wearing a helmet, in some cases, it will double the impact on your head instead of protecting you. Now, in other cases, it'll save your ass. But that impact of the helmet, so the helmets, seem to be the problem. And soon as they can figure that out, and I think the plastic helmets are the problem. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't remember this kind of thing, but remember, I grew up around boxing. And there was a phrase in boxing called punch drunk. It'd be a person, and I'd be like, I would run across, be with my father when he was just hanging, and he would run across the old boxer. And I'd be like, what happened to him? He's like, he's punch drunk. He got hit in the head too many times. From the players that wore the older plastic helmets and some of the leather helmets, because again, my father in 9th grade, they didn't wear a face mask. In 10th grade, there was a plastic thing that fit over their face. It was almost like, if you guys know what a fighter pilot was from World War II, they wore the kind of mask. It was actually the air mask and the communication device at the same time. It looked like that. And then in 10th grade, they wore, then when he was a senior, by the time he was a senior, they was wearing the single bars. But you just don't see the head cases in them old players. So it's definitely the plastic helmets. Rodgers not winning no more. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna let him step in front of Brett Favre. I think they only let him tie. The Vikings ever get a Super Bowl? No, plugs. They won't let them. Vikings are going to be like Detroit, Cardinals, trying to think, Titans. There's a lot of 8 teams that will never win, but Detroit and the Vikings are a team that never win. Again, I blame Cunningham and not the kicker for missing that kick. Cunningham missed Randy Moss wide open to win the game. And Cunningham threw an air ball up in the air instead of throwing it out far and wide. He looked like he purposely underthrew Randy Moss. And that team would have beat John Elway. That was a way better team. Way better team. But they're not going to let the Vikings win. And that re-signing of Kirk Cousins was some stupid shit too that didn't make no sense. $80 million made no sense for Cousins. Well, what had he done to that point? He hadn't done anything. I didn't see the point of not keeping the dude who did the Minnesota Miracle. I thought the thing about it is he favored Diggs. Now Thielen benefited from having Cousins. Cousins favored Thielen. But that other cat. Let me hit y'all with this shit. I don't know. It's funny. My car picked this up. I could not figure this shit out. Here we go. I want to throw this at y'all. Oh my goodness, that woman who sung on Saturday Night Live. Oh my goodness, Phoebe. What is this chick's name? I'll look it up again. Search. Oh, Phoebe something. Phoebe Bridges. Oh my goodness. Woo-hoo. Yeah, I wasn't feeling too good about her music. All right, I want y'all to check out this beat. You see how long they keep that shit going. This is her name is Tina Scene featuring Buddy Matter like it matters. But I like that part. I think that is kind of tight. And I honestly could not catch what the name of the song was, so I put some shit in. And I think the phone listening found her because I tried to put something that I thought, or it doesn't matter. I think I put it doesn't matter, and I think it hit matter. So Raiders might go next year only if they get Watson because of the new stadium. I would say the Raiders or the Rams too. We get Richard Sherman. We're going to the Super Bowl. CJ, that's funny. Steelers are done. Perhaps they wanted the old gambling originals. The old gambling families. They highlighted the gambling families. Pittsburgh got all the Super Bowls, all the gamblers, the Rooney gamblers and the Maya gamblers. And I've talked about the Rooney Mayan connection of the girl in the red tattoo is a Maya Rooney, I think is her name. Maya Rooney is her name. You dig? Old football money. Old football money. You would be surprised. I think the Bears and the original 10, 12 teams within the NFL, do you know it was like $100? You got $1 billion industry now that if one of your ancestors paid $100 and you could sustain it. $1 billion for $100. Shit, you look at Fords, again, the way they wanted to give Clay Ford, they wanted to get Clay Ford out of the car business. So they gave him the Lions. And it was something like 400,000, 600,000 to buy the Lions. Because I think he bought it in 60, 61. The Lions had won I think the Lions won the NFC Championship in 55, 56, 57 with Bobby Lane. And for some reason, they traded Bobby Lane. And Bobby Lane cursed the Lions. So they ain't won a championship since the 50s. They'll never win a Super Bowl. Look at Cleveland. Cleveland won in 64, I think, season. 64 or 65 season. They won it. And then didn't never win it again. That franchise never won it. But if you look at Paul Brown in the original, I don't know if it's called the Western Football League. I don't know the name of that league, but Paul Brown won 7 or 8 in a row in that league. Remember, I was talking about the other night how they like these teams to win. And that league Paul Brown was in, and I know the 49ers were in that league as well. They won it 7 or 8 years in a row, like 50 to 59, something like that. Dynasties seems to keep leagues healthy and continuing. Matter of fact, that league did so well that I think 59-60 season, they bring in San Francisco and they bring in Cleveland. Their product was that well. And the same thing, we see the same thing with the AFL. The product became that good. The AFL did a different route. The AFL started putting brothers on the teams. And they started paying the players, especially rookies, was really getting kicked down. And we have the product that we have today. With all the different sophistications. It'd be FC North, the highest viewers in the entire league. That is a good point, Draco. That is a real good point. They're gonna shame Mahomes. I think so too. Jets got another guaranteed. It ain't about views. Yeah, it's really not. 8 players. You're going to live 8. Are you going? Yes. Tomorrow's gonna be a strange day. It really is. It's man. Let me read this shit to y'all. And this is the thing. This is the thing about the cold. Like if you don't have long underwear on, you get exposed really quickly. I mean, you just feel that shit in your legs. Like my coat, I got a Columbia coat. It's the thinner is the better. I got that Apollo shit on the inside, the shiny shit. So my jacket, with a sweater and my jacket, I'm fine. Hats, it ain't hard to get hats to keep all the heat in. You got to wear long johns. But the problem is when it gets this cold, I have asthma. And there's really the cold presses on your chest in a different kind of way. And when you have asthma, that cold really it almost feels like something's holding your chest like this and you're trying to breathe. And so it's something I have to be aware of because panic attacks come from a change in your breathing patterns. And so it's really a challenge. Like I had to get gas and shit. But like when you walk out in that shit, it's like, damn. but so I'm leery of traveling, but one way or another, I am doing the game. But I mean, this is the kind of shit that's some Alaska shit. Okay, so it's minus 11. Minus 13 by 1. It's going to stay minus 13 till 4. At 4 a.m., it's going to be minus 15. And then it's going to get a high of a minus 8 tomorrow. Ooh, I'm excited. So driving is going to be an effort tomorrow. So
it's gonna be sick. You see the ocean.
So that's the problem when it gets cold. I don't care.
These ones?
We're barbecue. Mayfield versus Watson or Lamar versus Roger for futures. Indigenous American Leo. No. A lot of celebrities died before the game. Well, yeah, Leon would make
Where was this sour cream?
nothing. Okay, you're being rude. Leon would make number 18. Leon would be the 18th death for the Super Bowl. So when the Eagles, which was the highest, was 21, the Eagles were the underdog, I do believe. And the Eagles won. So with the lower number, I would say that would favor the Bucks, the lower death number. Plus, Leon being from Missouri, I think is another factor of them probably letting the Bucks win. So maybe Seahawks calls that sexual assault. Indigenous AM Rico. Yeah, we up to 18 deaths. And again, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, 2 people died that night. So we have to count them if people die that night. Raiders Stadium was the first to go cashless. Interesting. But I'll say this. When we go to see the Vikings play, hardly anybody takes cash. I mean, it just makes so much sense to lift near the stadium, have drinks, have dinner, and then you can catch the train to the stadium. You pay with a card, to get on the train. And then once you get in the stadium, almost everybody uses cars to get drinks and food. It's not that you can't have cash, but it's just so busy that it's quicker to use your card than to use cash. That makes sense. And then the kiosks will be once the season starts, they'll allow. I think they just approve live betting here. So, okay, why you rude?
Yes.
Okay, why rude? Why be rude? No, you're out here being rude. You could have came. You had all fucking day to come out here, and you come out here now while I'm broadcasting.
I was on TV.
No, you on some bullshit. You're on some bullshit, son. Their stadium looks weird as hell. Did you count the wrestler Butch Reed? He played for the Chiefs. I did not count Butch Reed. Wow. Let's look him up. I did not count Butch Reed. Good call. Why are you still in the kitchen? Ain't shit you doing that you have to be in the kitchen.
Yes. Making a sauce.
Wasting my shit is what you're doing. Oh, this cat wasn't too much older than me. All right. When did he die? Oh, okay. Yeah, he is definitely in it then. He played for the Chiefs. I wonder what college he went to. What are you wasting in there? What sauce of mine are you wasting? Because I know you're wasting one of my damn sauces. All right, so Butch Reed would be number 19. Good. Thank you for that. He would be number 19. That might even change with 19. Ex-wrestler and chief. Wow. Making it 19. We got to really look at that a little harder. Okay, number one, when you open the fridge, it turns the fridge fucking on. I had it on.
Why are you leaving?
But you turn the fridge on, and the motherfucker gonna run for the next hour.
You're an hour.
I mean, damn, you could have did that shit. You interrupt me on fucking purpose, man. You're fucking bogus. This might change it a little bit. So we got Spinks, Kansas City. Now we got another chief. Wow. That might change things a little bit, guys. We might have to pay attention to this read. I wonder what his number was. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for adding that. We have to put him in. But thank you for adding that. Did I miss you? Yeah, we already talked about Leon. Number 19. He was 19? Really? He wore number 19 too? Wow. He was 19. Guy looked like a big guy. SD Draco 2 should be a good game. Brady, did you count the route? Yeah, I did not. So thank you, Starfleet. Thank you. I did not count him. I missed that. Damn, they didn't even put that on ESPN today. The Browns doing reservations for the stadium. They want people to be season ticket holders. All them, even them cheap high seats. They try to make everybody be season ticket holders. Radio Stedham built like a PS5. Witz is getting traded for Foles. Yeah, he beat Leon beat Ali in points. He beat Ali in points in the first fight. He did. And then the second fight was the biggest fight ever. The second fight was in the Superdome, and Ali returned beating him in points. And Ali became the first 3-time champ. Because actually, when Ali won the title back, he was the first person. Well, no, Floyd Patterson would have been the first person to lose the title, and then he beat Ingmar and Johannesson. He beat and he recaptured the title, so it would have been Floyd Patterson first. But it was a very rare thing when Ali beat Foreman, very rare. And then Foreman later beat Michael Moore, and that was very staged. Not to say Foreman couldn't hit, but that shit was staged. They would let Mahomes win back to back, and he probably won't win another one. I don't know, homie. I just don't see that. No, 19th death. Yeah, 19th death. Yeah, indigenous. Right, 19th death. Yeah. Do you remember Touchdown Tommy? Touchdown Tommy. No, give me a last name. Glenn Plummer passed away. Glenn Plummer died too? Wow. He was the one. Glenn Plummer died? When did Glenn Plummer die? I ain't see that shit at all. He was the Ray Ray. I don't see in here where he died. I ain't got where he died. They ain't saying he died on this. Yeah, they don't have Glenn Plummer dying on here. I haven't found that. Yeah, they're not showing Glenn Plummer as being dead. Huh, Glenn Plummer's my age. I didn't realize that. Yeah, they ain't got him dying in here. I don't know. I ain't got Glenn Plummer dying. Remember that Ray Ray movie? Glenn Plummer passed away. Yeah, James, I ain't seeing that. I ain't seeing the Glenn Plummer passed. They ain't got that shit on Wikipedia. Glenn Plummer. Passed. Let's see. No, they ain't got him dying. Oh shit, here we go. Oh, he been dead. Oh, this is another dude. That's a different dude. That's an old dude. That ain't the Glenn. Wait. No, that's not him either. It's some white dude. I ain't got that he died. They ain't showing him dead in this. So I don't know if we can count him. Don't look like he died. Unless that's just up to the last minute. I'll add him tomorrow. But I'm definitely going live. It's going to be interesting if I go with my sons or kind of got another interesting thing to do tomorrow. So, you remember Touchdown Tommy? No, I need to know if last name of Touchdown Tommy. Boxing has become too much of a business. Boxers barely fight the best fighters now. And what's interesting, boxing almost died. I mean, when you look at when Ali quit, Larry Holmes couldn't hold boxing. Larry Holmes wasn't interesting, wasn't a very handsome man. He wasn't articulate, and he pretty much used Ali's style of a bigger dude with a jab. But great fights is Larry Holmes and Ken Norton, Larry Holmes and Ernie Sanders, Ernie Shavers, excuse me. But was a cat. He didn't lose to Michael Spinks. That was all fixed. Both fights was fixed because Holmes was about to tie Rocky Marciano. He lost to Spinks on his 48th fight, and it was bogus that they lost. They did that to stop him from tying Rocky. Isn't that interesting? They let Floyd, a lesser weight, tie the record, but they wouldn't let a heavyweight he beat Spinks in that fight. You got to beat the champion. You can't just hit here and run, hit here and run. That's all Spinks did. And there was no way that Spinks should have won either fight. No way. That was very bogus. Well, this is the time I give the divination. So what we have is no, it's not unusual for me to drop shit. We are at 13 platoons, 0 platoons, 8 tunes, 4 Uno, and I think we are on day 9 or day 10. Which one? We're at 10 Ken, maybe? I looked earlier. Yes, we are on 10. So 13 platoons, 0 platoons, 8 tunes, 4 Uno, and we are on day 10. And day 10 energy should be out of the north. And I believe we are at Ak. Damn, that gave me a cramp. Ak, dog, mammalian brain, emotional life, guiding principle of loyalty, faithfulness that gives strength in the spiritual journey. And for anyone that wants the Mayan fractal, that is the fractal pushing the energy to the north. So if you want to manifest, it would help using the energy of north. And again, it is basically dog. In this card, we see a Yanni. We see a Yanni with his double or energetic body coming out of the neck while he manipulates some sacred herbs. The footprints represents the Yanni's journey and his double symbolism representing as a dog and bringing an offering to a deity. Getting the dog card is a sign of traveling without losing your connection with the place you are coming from. It represents also the virtue of faithfulness towards someone or something. A double being, we cannot achieve healing and wellness if we do not honor the tonal and nagal sides of our being. The problem is that in modern times, humans are generally absorbed in their minds only, trapped to the side of the reason, so to speak. But reason gets sick if it is not balanced by the efficient and continued use of awareness of the other self, which is based not in reason, but in the silent knowledge of its magical side. The dog represents your journey and experience of your other self for the sake of achieving completion and integral development. The time is prosperous for practice that leads in that direction. The other important meaning of the dog is fidelity. Getting this card may mean that someone loyal to you is playing an important role in your life, perhaps without your full acknowledgement. The card can also mean that you may be called to stand up for someone or something and be loyal to that person or cause, despite the difficulty that you may have to face by doing so. This is not a small cause because we are often our own growth depends upon our capacity to serve others. At the end, being loyal to your heart and its connection will orient you in times of uncertainty. So if anybody can use that energy, you are welcome to it. And that's why I give it out. As I often say, I give freely. And that's the way as men. And that's the thing It's about being a man all the time. That's why I say with this bickering stuff, and attacking folks without them folks being able to speak. Okay. Be a man about your shit. And I don't know if men think that often, that I always got to be a man. All your reaction is always a reaction of being a man. It's like my son last night, a way a lot of black folks like to say, on my mom's life or on my wife. That's ghetto talk. You don't have to say that to make people believe that you're honest in what you're saying. But you hear people say that kind of shit all the time. It wants you to agree with the spell. It's a very weak spell that people put out there. Like they have to convince you. I know even me, I have to catch myself because sometimes I'll say honestly some shit. It's like because I say honestly that it means that it's the truth. But it's just my own lack of communicating and using that that type of spell to convince some people. So there's no reason to say that kind of shit. Truth is truth. Your point is, truth is truth. Truth doesn't need anything to add to it. Definitely, it doesn't need a spell, but they have spells where they use it. Floyd, the best fighter of all time. Skill wise, defensive fighter. Not punching power though. Definitely not punching power. But defensive, yeah, but not punching power. You'd have to look at somebody else. Mattress Mac bet $1 million on the Astros, and it happened. I said before, the dude bet 3.4 million to win 3.7 million. That's the most money that went into Vegas by one person. Floyd would lose to Logan Paul. Don't matter. It's exhibition. Don't count against his record. It'd be a shaming, but it won't count against his record because it is an exhibition. So it's not going to count. From Us magazine. What? I'm not getting it. Floyd, the best fighter of all time. I don't know. Floyd. I mean, as a defensive fighter, I would put him in the thing with Jack Johnson. I understand, shoulder roll to block, but didn't really have a lot of power. Precise punching now, I'll give that to him. Precise punching. I say skill wise, again, I stick with Ali. Skill wise, his skill ain't been matched for a dude that's 6'4". That skill has not been matched. To pull away from punches, you don't understand, that was never done. They taught against that. But Ali was so well that he could pull away from punches. Not just step back, but he'd pull away. And even the punch, they call it a phantom punch that he knocked Sonny Liston down. He knocked Big Cat Williams down with the same punch. He's backing up and he throws a straight right while backing up. You tell me who else can match that skill. Watch the punch he knocks Liston over, and then watch the punch he knocks Big Cat over. It's the same punch, backing up and throwing a straight right while backing up. Who else has that skill? Watch a young Ali before they banned him. A young Ali, in skill level-wise. They ain't really matched. Foot, hand, eye, ain't been matched. A lot of people look at Zora Foley, which that fight was more than probably fixed. Not to say Zora didn't get knocked out easy. I don't even know if Big Cat Williams was Ali's best fight. It's really sharp, where he did a lot of sharp punches. But then if you want to see Ali torture a mug, watch him fight Orny Terrell. He tortured him. Watch him fight Floyd Patterson. He tortured him. He could have knocked the man out sooner. See, the problem is a person wants to, like Sonny Liston would duck, and Ali was catching him ducking. Sonny had a bad habit of wanting to duck under punches, and Ali was timing that shit and tagging his ass with it. Well, Floyd Patterson was very near that. And what happens is when somebody keeps jabbing you, you start getting back problems because you keep eating them. So watch those two fights, and you see where Ali tortured two people, really tortured two people. Actually, Ernie Terrell was blind. Ernie Terrell claimed that Ali thumbed him, but he ate a lot of punches, and the punches blinded him for about a week. Hey, Barbara, thank you for joining me. James Gant, thank you for. Yeah, I got that. Christopher Plummer. Yeah, I got that. Oh, Christopher Plummer. Yeah, I said that last night. Yep, Sound of Music. Christopher Plummer died last night. Yep, I got that one. So we up to just 19. Just 19. Floyd was so damn technical, could carry fighters at will. And let's not forget the one fight. They was it who did he fight? And they broke him up, and Floyd hit on the brake and knocked dudes out. Do y'all remember that? I don't remember the fighter, but it's like that shit should have been a foul. They do tell you to protect yourself at all times. So they break the fighters up. The fighter goes to hit gloves, and Floyd hits him and knocks him out. He should have been counted out as a foul. Now, you don't have to touch gloves after a break. You don't. After that type of break, you really don't have to touch gloves. But it's pretty standard. And so he goes to touch gloves, and then Floyd hits him on pretty much the break. So that one was very suspect. Judah, when he fought Judah, let's be honest, when he fought Judah won. When he first time he fought Judah, that was a fight where that could have went to Judah. That could have went to Judah. But yeah, I like the way Floyd never wasted punches. No, I agree. He didn't. I still got my George Foreman grill. Mine died. Ortiz was rabbit punching. Yeah, he was. You look at when you look at Foreman Frazier one. He hits Frazier and should with a rabbit punch. I found a shot in front of that where Frazier's running away from him because the punch he had hit him before threw him off, and Frazier hits him with a clear rabbit punch and knocks him down, which should have been a foul. But again, when I looked at Joshua Ortiz fight, it was the same as Foreman Frazier. It was almost the same pattern. I mean, look at both fights. Here's Foreman that wasn't a very crisp punch. You know, Foreman was like this. He was that kind of puncher. He wasn't crisp. And Frazier was very crisp. And now Frazier did almost die when he fought Ali. And it appears like when Ali fought Frazier, Frazier was done after Ali Frazier won. Frazier really never fought great after that. The Thriller in Manila, Frazier was kind of shot. Ali was old and tired. It was under conditions that they were both stupid to have ever signed to fight there. Philippines is 100-some degrees, tropical, humid, no air conditioning in the Coliseum. How don't you know that as a fighter? How would you agree? That would have been my first question. Is there air conditioning in this motherfucker? And Ali admitted that after the fight, it was almost like dying. Frazier was blind. Almost all of his life, Frazier was damn near blind in one eye. And still won the Olympic gold medal. And Brother Leon, don't forget, Leon Spinks won the gold medal too. I think he was the light heavyweight champ or the heavyweight in the 76. I want to say 76 Olympics. So let's give that love to Leon too, if I didn't mention it before. Leon did win the gold medal. So give him all his props. Yeah, right, CJ. Judah fight could have went either way. That was a close fight. And it was a one fight where his defense didn't really stop him. Judah was a front runner, and 4 rounds is gassed. A lot of skill though. Oh yeah, hit hard too. They shamed Mayweather in the Olympics. Yeah, they did. Roy Jones too. Don't forget. The reason why the Olympics show the points is because of Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. loses in the Olympics, but he's the most outstanding boxer. Excuse me. Make that make sense. Do y'all remember that? He loses in the Olympics because they was in Korea and they gave it to the Korean fighter. But Roy Jones Jr. gets a medal for being the most valuable boxer. So that was their way. But that's why all boxing should be like the Olympic boxing. They should show the score every time. But the reason they won't do that in boxing is so they can control the crookedness, the fakeness, the fixing. There's no other reason boxing doesn't show who's winning round for round, because they still want to be able to fix fights. Because the minute they have to keep score, they can't fix it as easy. Think about it. Dude getting his ass whooped and he winning rounds, people going to start booing and shit. Like, what the fuck are you guys watching? So it's easier to do it at the end of the fight. But to me, the public should demand that. Demand that boxing shows scores after every round. And if it ain't right and you live, boo the shit out of them, then let them know that they're fixing the fight. But pro boxing will never do that. And I think, matter of fact, don't they do that shit for the kickboxing shit? Don't they show the scores between every rounds for the kickboxing? I think they do. Somebody talk to me. I think they do. A little dab will do you. I blow big stacks. I blow big stacks. Oh, I have so much fun being me. They shame Bernard Hopkins was criminally undeterred. I liked Hopkins. He started late. He got old quick. They didn't score right. Exactly, CJ. I never understood that why they don't do that. Possibility of Mayweather was white. They would have had him win the Olympics. Probably so. But I don't think the daddy or Roger won the Olympics anyway. And I met both of them. Lorenzo, thank you for joining me. I met the daddy and I met Roger. Mayweather's, there was Mayweather's in I want to say they're from Gary, Indiana. And then they went to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I met both the daddy and or Floyd Sr. And I met Roger. Like I said, my cousin knocked Roger out. Was it the Amateurs Championship? Yeah, my cousin K-Dog knocked him out. He knocked Roger out to win maybe it's Golden Gloves. I don't know if it's Golden Gloves or Pro Fight. I'm not sure. But my cousin K-Dog knocked him out. But I grew up around all them cats. That's when I met Ali Rockman. I met Ali's brother Rockman first. I didn't meet Ali until I was older. Because I'll never forget, Ebony Magazine was selling Ali watches. You could get a watch with Ali face in it. And I remember Rockman came over and he had one of them watches. And then Rockman was trained by Henry Grooms, same dude that trained Leon Spinks later. And Rockman fought under Henry a few fights. Western Michigan used to always have pro fights because of Henry. He would rent the arena and damn near pack the place. And when Rockman came in, I met Rockman a couple times. And then we watched him fight. Good fight. He had a lot of the same skills. Not as hand speed wasn't quite as quick, but size. I mean, Rockman was about 6'6'1". Ali was only about 6'2.5". Rockman was very close. Maybe Rockman was 6'2". Ali was just slightly bigger, but the same reach, not as quick, not as feet weren't as fast either, but he could hit. I want to say then their other guy, what is his name? It was another fighter that was briefly the champion. I can picture his Ernie, no. He was the heavyweight champ when Ali retired, or when they forced Ali out. He was another dude that grew up with all them. I can picture his face. His name will come in a minute. But he was closer than I thought. His skill was closer than Rockman's. He had a lot of Ali's skill as far as being the same size. But he couldn't take a punch. When Joe Frazier beats him and wins the championship from him, what is his name? It's not Ernie Terrell. That's not right. Damn. I got old man and I can't think of his name. But he was one that grew up with Rockman and Ali and fought in the same camp and was trained by Angie. Possibly at Mayweather, why they would have him win the Olympics. So, but yeah, I grew up watching wrestling. Watching pro boxing. Lynn Hutchinson was his main fighter. Lynn was good, had good skill. And Lynn was down in Argentina. Lynn was winning and Lynn got headbutted. And I mean, it just blew his shit up. It like cut him, like dude headbutted him. And it just, when he headbutted up here, it cut that shit open, but it blew all this up too. I mean, dude just boom, comes in and it cuts him here. And so Lynn is fighting with his shit like seriously cut and laid open and blew his eye up too. And Lynn fought still. And they took it from Lynn. When really the dude should have been disqualified. But Lynn Hutchinson was another brother that I knew. Like I was watching a thing, they was talking about Kellogg's and Post. It was another brother named Dave Thatch. I watched Dave fight pro. And Dave later, I met his daughter, really pretty daughter, but Dave worked for Post. And I was watching a thing today where they were saying Post's been open for 125 years. Okay. How many times is that going to happen? It's trying to tell me something. Don't put that shit over there, I think is what it's telling me. Do you guys understand that kind of thing? Like when you drop shit and like if you put something somewhere, there's energy that don't want that shit there and it'll push it, knock it down, and you want to put it back. Don't put it back. If you put something somewhere and it keeps dropping down, take that shit away. There's some energy that doesn't want you to add to that place. So be aware of that kind of thing. Because like even this damn thing, I put it in a certain spot and it's like, yeah, it was pushing it off. I was like, what the fuck keeps knocking that shit down? But when you put certain things in places, sometimes the shit don't want to be there. So be aware of that. Especially like if you set up altars and shit and you see shit flying off, take it off. Don't leave it there. Because there's some energies that don't mix with. And altars are kind of funny, you know. Again, you put up altars, don't forget to put up gifts and stuff as well. Because it's energy. Energy is always moving. And so the intention of the gifts, especially water, things like candy, you know, these beings feed off it slightly. I ain't saying like they get a whole meal, but it's like a I mean, Catholic or churches use it all the time, pass the basket around. Supporting us is supporting the spirituality that you are looking for. You know, that's what they try to tell you, that your spirituality comes from you going there. They try to convince you that your luck comes from going to the church. So if you hit a lick or whatever, you think the church, and then you give. In some churches, it's a decent percent. Again, I've told the story before. I watched a preacher shame a girl because she bought a new car. So her tithe was less. And he shamed her in front of everybody. So like you made a commitment to my church to pay this, but yet you need a new car. So you can't pay this much, but you can pay for that new car. I mean, he just shamed her. And it was ego. It was ego. Had nothing to do with anything but the preacher's ego. Because really he was setting everybody up like, don't get shamed. That's the fucked up shit they do. Fuck, ain't working. Must need charged or something. I don't know. Strong discernment, 501c3. Timer. That's funny. That's funny. Strong discernment. There we go. I blow big stacks. But strong discernment, thank you the other day for making me think and putting up more information. That is excellent. That's what participation is about. Is making someone else think. That's what we all should be here for, is making each other think, looking at all the possibilities. Do you believe the Great Reset? Do you believe in the Great Reset? I don't believe in anything. I only know. But that is, and I'm not going to give a quick answer from the simple fact that, okay, here's an example. 9/11 reset a lot of people. Almost everybody was reset for 9/11. And it's just how they do these things. Almost the whole world reset. Same thing when Trump won. It reset almost the whole world. How could this person that was never a real politician win? So that could be applied to a lot of different periods. Again, personally, you can be reset by this thing and not even know it. It's like you think you've done all this to move forward, and then you see a move, and it don't mean you got in trouble or lost a job or none of that. But it's like if you just look at things, it's like shit. And I give you a prime example. I got a better job, and I was looking at it, and it was like all the better job got me was I was able to afford to get these damn razors. I used the Gillette with the 5 blades and the strip and shit. And it was like, that's all the new job gave me. Even though I made quite a bit more, when it came down to it, that's a spell, I'm sorry. I only made enough money to buy the lotion for my face and them razors. That was the only thing that changed in my budget. Okay, that was a hell of a sound just came out of me. If you guys caught that. What was that? Those healing crystals and mirror gazing are very intriguing. 2-8. It's just like you can technically use this skull, and this is obsidian, and obsidian is very good at giving you a device. Mirrors are better, but even the skull and looking at something like that, you can gaze into. And we have it because we're from the Americas, because this is the energies of the Americas. They did not have this technology in Europe. That's why they stole it all. That's why they hunted down all the original crystal heads, which they still can't explain how they were made. How they can't duplicate those original heads. The same with the mirrors. They took all the crystal balls and they took all Montezuma's mirrors. They took all that stuff. So we can use this. They want to spook you away from it. But I mean, Bobby Hemmett was selling just black paper and showing how you can just gaze in black paper, which you can't. You can black out a mirror and get the same effect. You can even, my brother hit me to this, you can even take these because this is black enough and you can gaze into one of these. You can gaze into one of these. Put a little electronic spell up there, but technically you can even gaze into that. And that is a whole new world of communication that you can open up for yourself. Because say you can't have visions. Well, say just staring in this will help you get visions. You might can't get them any other way. Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can get them, but in the word I'm looking for is actually what can trigger you to have visions. And a lot of times mirrors or balls can do that for you. So yeah, definitely something that if you're a spiritual person, you should pursue. That's why I throw sound in there. Sound. And there's a lot of beings don't like this shit. You clear energies with this. And as I said before, a chick was trying to tell me the sage won't clear out energies, and it's like that's some bullshit. And even in the sentence I gave the chick, I told the chick, I was like, sage can clear moments, and that's what you want to clear. And as I told the story last summer, we put a person to rest. I mean, again, I did all the sigil work to make sure that she had to leave with the smoke. I didn't let her get out, because when you sage to push a spirit out, you have to sage everything. I'm climbing through spider shit in the basements. But again, you can't leave anything unsaged. You have to do the whole house, every corner, every shadow, everything. And then you've got to put the protection sigils so they can't get out that way. So they can't get out any of the windows. They can't get out any of the doors. They're forced out the way that you don't block to let them be free. And then you give, you like we left a candle in there and we left some food in there, some kind of candy or chips or something. Because again, we're not attacking this entity that won't leave. We are saying it's time for you to rest and there's another place for you to go. We're not fighting you, but we're saying that you can't hold this ground anymore. You don't really belong here. You need to move on. For whatever her murder, and a woman got murdered there. And for whatever reason, she was trapped in that space. And I don't know why she was trapped, but a lot of times it can be your job to help a person go to where they really belong. And I'm not saying light or none of that shit. I'm just saying you didn't belong here. You are trapped here some kind of way. So my job was to help this being not be trapped and give thanks and not just it's not we're not attacking you. That's the thing. But we're helping you move on. And we ain't boob whisper saying, go to the light. Go to the light, Emma. Go. No, it's not that. Go to where you belong. I have no influence on where you go, what your path is, but you don't belong here. LeVar was right about LaMelo being his best son. You talking about I'm climbing through the spiders. Oh, yeah. The spider webs was rough. It was because my ex-wife lived in a duplex and we did her house, but we had to do the house and we had to do the actual room where the murder went. And so it's I don't take that kind of thing lightly because I had to snap at her. I'm like, please, when I do this, don't start all that goddamn talking to me. Like, let me do this, and then you talk to me later. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, there you go. Don't do all that damn talking. Let me do. I got to concentrate. It's not something I take lightly. And I just had to look at it, and I had to look at how to hold the energy so it can move. That's it. So my point was, this chick's on Facebook saying that it won't move energies, and she's lying. And again, I said the moment it will clear a moment. That's what we have. The moment is all you have. Where can I get shungite? There are a lot of different but I tell you what, I still need to go to my crystal place and I'll see if he has it. Because a lot of times, like I got this from my crystal guy. And so I'll see if he has some, if not Russian sites, but it like right now I'm not ordering shit from Russia or China. It takes forever. So that's the only bad thing. There are several American sites that you can get it from. But again, I might be able to get some and other crystals that are safe without any negative energies attached to them. Yeah, what's funny is my friend said that she got a pendulum, and she like I said I worked for some people, and the people cheated me out of something. They cheated me out a couple $100 trying to say that this damn and it's over there, but I bought. But she said the lady told her to sleep with the shit and she didn't cleanse it. My friend didn't cleanse or anything. Again, she was pointed into direction, but she said that the crystal point physically broke. And I think there was some kind of, I forget the term I used, but I think it was a pressure spell. So what it was is so much pressure was put on the crystal, on this pendulum, because I think she got one near like this, because I know this shop and all their pendulums look sort of like this. And that chick must have put some type of spell because she had a negative reaction to buying it and it broke. And to tell her to place it under her pillow, I've been to that crystal shop a lot of times. I never heard that before, that you take a pendulum and put it under your pillow. So she did some kind of spell to my friend, and my friend had some very adverse effects from it. And that's the thing where you definitely have to cleanse them. You can cleanse them with sound. You can cleanse them. Again, know that you can run water in the crystals, but you do have to cleanse them because they're handled by so many other people. So it's just a good habit to see, because some you can't run water on. So it's just a good habit to cleanse crystals before you use them. And then you program them. Use them, and then you program them. So strong discernment, I will check into that, but you can look at Russian shops or just look up shungite, the word. Etsy sells pretty decent shungite. Amazon sells pretty decent shungite. Don't buy it from China. They'll send you fakes. Just like if anybody wants to buy Motivite, never buy Motivite from China. They send you fakes. They talking about it's green, or no, there's blue and red Motivite. Yeah, there's not. So yeah, I'll look into that. I'm gonna try to go to my crystal shop and see if I can find some from them, and maybe I can find you a piece. So, but look up shungite and just look it up and see Etsy, see Amazon. But again, don't order from China. A lot of times you can get one of the Russian stores that's in America that works with them, because I can't get powder. That's the one thing that doesn't appear to be available anymore. And I'm because I had everything set up with the CBD and putting the shungite powder and already cream CBD, I think would enhance it. But I had shungite powder, and again, with my dyslexia, I'm thinking I'm having shungite to cure my water. And no, I had powder. and I wasted it, and all my 5-year-old sugar that was cleansing my water. I wasted all that shit. So kind of bogus, but you have to move on. And I do have a good relationship with a cat in Russia to get the pure water stuff, but it's just hard. It takes so long now. I have quartz crystal. Oh, nice. Very nice. Quartz is an amplifier. It's an amplifier. So, um, my verges, are crystals. My other verger is a crystal. Um, what's interesting is when I talk about a story where I was actually living in one of Shiva's tears, or excuse me, Brahma's tears, I use this kind of thing as a weapon. And again, the full story of this is I was given these fractals back in 14 or 15, maybe the summer of 15. And I did not know what it meant. I was just always getting these kind of fractals. And so I go in the shop and see this damn thing, and I'm like, this is the fractals I've been given. So I got paid, whatever, and I had to come back and get it. And in the time that I'm going back to get it, I forgot what the damn thing was. I was like trying to remember the shape of it and the proper fractals, but I couldn't. And then I go in there, I was like, oh, okay. And what's interesting with the brass is this brass is worth, I mean, this has went up in value, which is interesting. But of course, I put the piece of motivite on it as well. And for a long period, I had Natrolite on it. And so it took me about 3 years to really be able to use this. Not sure why, but again, when I was living in Brahma's tears, this was a weapon that I was able to use. So, and you look up on Etsy, this stuff ain't cheap anymore. It's interesting. These are just as expensive as the crystals. So, hey, what's up, JR Smooth? What's happening? Thank you for joining me. And it's funny. I've watched the Super Bowl change from something that nobody really paid attention to. Now it's a holiday. It's like our biggest holiday of the year. It really is. You have to look at everything that goes into it. Go to the store tomorrow and you'll see. Now, those of you that aren't sports lovers, go to the stores or the malls, see what it's like. They're going to be pretty empty because everybody has some kind of Super Bowl party to go to. People aren't even football fans, but they'll go to Super Bowl parties because this is the biggest event of the year. They expect the biggest TV ratings by far. That's what they anticipate, that this show is the best show of the year. But if they learn anything from the national championship game, it took a hit. It wasn't the best show of that period. It took a hit. Final prediction for the Super Bowl. You get all the good energy. I see why I was led here. Well, thank you, Read My Soul. That is so kind. What did I put? If Brady wins, I've got 31-27, which pushes the over. If Pat wins, it's going to be 31-29, the Chiefs not covering. So if the Chiefs win, they won't cover. But if Brady wins, again, I think Patty Mahomes is going to throw the final play or fumble. Again, he did the tuck rule. When they played before, they did a tuck rule thing where Patty Mahomes fumbled forward and they called it incomplete pass. So that's what I got. So if the Chiefs win, I got them winning by 2, 31-29. And if the Bucks win, I have it 31-27. But yeah, but over. Definitely have it over. So I like the over 56. Yeah, JR Smooth, I do too. It was actually, I think what I paid last week was 56.5. So yeah, it gave me a little bit. And I think one of the bets is I got it 3.5 and not just even 3. I think it was actually 3.5. So yeah. But that's what we're having, and it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. I'll just say that. So I hopefully If I do end up at my son's, I will broadcast, or if I stay here. I want to travel. It's kind of interesting because a couple of fun things look like it's appearing. I think they will win big, like 10 points to kill the live in play betters. That would turn them off, though. Like a blowout early turns off the in game betting. A blowout early, people don't care. So to keep the in game betting going, the blowout won't help until the fourth quarter. Now, if it's going to be a blowout, it'll be a blowout in the fourth quarter. But they want that in game betting, so they're not going to put a blowout early. It'll be later that they'll put a blowout. And I want to show y'all this hat. This is a draft day hat, supposedly. Look at that crap. I got this hat for like $12, and they put this damn pin on it. So I don't know what draft it was, but I got this hat for $12. I know because this is on it, it was worth more. But it was 2 or 3 with the writing on it, because he wanted to charge me $20. He was going to charge me 15 plus 10 more bucks for the writing. And I was like, hey, all them hats got that like that. He's like, oh, I'll give it to you for 12. And then I found this one with the damn pin on it. I don't know why they put the pin on it. It's like, hey, I want this one. $12. So, and I sold out. It is a snapback. I don't normally buy snapback hats. They're no waste of money, but sometimes the hat is okay. Tom Brady was down 28-3 early versus the Falcons. There you are, Smooth. Yep, that's right. They don't want people to tune out during the halftime, maybe close until late in the game. Exactly. With this in-game betting, if it's a blowout, people turn away from that. What's the point? Because you see the losing team, if it's a blowout, you see them being desperate and running desperate type of plays. And you tend to see not a lot of money bet on that kind of play. They prefer every play to mean something, so more bettors will keep betting. So if it's a blowout, it'll be at the end of the game. But that shit with Atlanta made no sense. Watch that game again. All night they've been redoing the football, the Super Bowls. In the morning they'll do it again. Watch that game, and again, you are in field goal range to seal the game. And not only do you run spread, you run hurry spread. So you snap the ball 7-8 seconds. Now, if you were really trying to win, you snap the ball at 28, 29 seconds before the clock goes. And then if you want to put yourself out of field goal range, you call a pass play that the quarterback drops 10 yards back. That puts you out of field goal range. Of all the plays you could call, the one thing you would think about is keeping yourself in field goal range. But no, they call a play where he drops deep, not 3 steps, not 7. He drops 10 and then gives up 5 more. Who calls that? And then you see their coach giving the job in San Francisco the next year, the coordinator. I think he was a Schottenheimer, wasn't he? Or whoever the San Francisco coach is. He's the one that called that spread offense. And then he gets rewarded. That's how real it is, y'all. You call the stupidest plays ever in the Super Bowl. 3 of the stupidest damn plays when you was running the ball down their neck. Every play should have been a running play. Then kick the field goal. No. All the coaches are recycled too. They get fired here and get hired there. Well, that's an old boy kind of thing, that ain't gonna never go away. Look at all these college dudes that you might have played for him in high school. You might have played for so-and-so in college. I mean, these are relationships that go back. That's what people don't understand. The old boy network is years of families working together. The Grodens and the McVeys go back about 50 years as friendly families. 50 years as friendly coaching families. And that's what you see. And that's going to be hard for brothers to break into that thing. Unless you played for somebody. It's a very, very old boy. Who have you worked with? or where did you work with this person? It's like that. And there's no Rooney rule is never going to get rid of that. They hire their previous friends that have did them favors. And that's never going to go away. And again, they don't want the players to dominate the coaches. So they're always going to develop non-players. That's what we have in the league right now. The McVays, San Francisco's coach. We got all these non-players. Dudes ain't never played, but they get to these keen coaching positions. That's on purpose. That's a system to do that. So they still have a place in the game. Yeah. So that's what they're facing. It's they had players. Yeah, they let bad players get some gigs. Yeah, it's a joke. This to me proves a machine is behind all because how do you enforce this? Exactly. You can't enforce the Rooney rule. Do you have any early basketball picks? Ziggy. What type of coach was Tomlin before coach of the Steelers? He was here as defensive coordinator. I want to say he was before Ziggy. He was with that coach where they had the boating thing. They had some holes on they was out on Lake Minnetonka and they had some holes out there and they got in that trouble. I want to say that Tomlin was his defensive coordinator. I can't think of that coach. That coach was a tight end. Basketball, I'm still kind of going through it. It's so early that I'm still kind of decoding it, seeing how the script is going. I think I will agree. We talked about it last night or night before. They're keeping the Warriors on every night, national TV. They're on national TV every week. And when you see that, you know that there's agenda going. Again, the Warriors came on national TV again today. And they're not that great a team, but they're keeping him in the spotlight. And it's the most sickening games to watch Curry's game because they follow if Curry goes and takes a crap in the bathroom during the game or before the game, or they take a camera in there and watch the man crap. The camera is constantly on him. Why? That's a psyop to say you want more and more of seeing him. Watch his games and how much the camera's on him. When he goes on the bench, like when he was hurt 2 seasons ago, when he was hurt, the camera is staying on him when he's doing this. Somebody hits the three and he's throwing that shit up. What other player do they do like that? Camera's constantly on him because he is on the bench. They don't do LeBron like that. When LeBron plays a game or Durant and them, when they ain't doing shit, the camera just ain't on them. Now they did that bullshit they did with Durant the other night. They showed the camera on him. That was some fixed shit. He was pissed because it was fixed and he knew it. He threw that water and said, "This is some bullshit." And he knew. He gave an honest answer. When they pulled him out and said he couldn't play the rest of the game, first of all, he shouldn't have played because it broke his streak of 800 some games of starting. Why would you play and risk that? I don't understand. And then to tell him, well, it's a negative or inconclusive, you can't play no more. That makes no sense. So that was some bullshit. Lakers, will Lakers make a trade for who? I used to always have the camera on him. Nick Young used to always have the camera on him. Nick Young, he was kind of marginal, though. He was a marginal player. Not as much as Curry. Not as much as Curry. When he plays, the camera stays on him. And again, if he was a good player, you wouldn't have to keep reminding people by putting the camera on him so much. He is a liability on defense. The one part of you see of scripting that they did is when LeBron and them played Curry, remember, they went after Curry. Whoever guarded Curry guarded, they was giving the ball and running the set through him. Remember that? They were running the sets through the person that Curry was guarding. Like I talked about Kelly Oubre the other day. You have Irving guarding him, and Kelly ain't posting up. This man is a step and stuff machine, but Irving is guarding, and he's not trying to post up. He's staying in the corner in the 3 points. Do you understand how the fixing is going? Kelly Oubre is killing everybody, but Irving is guarding him, and he doesn't flash to the middle to get the ball to take advantage of Irving's defense. Instead, he stays in the corner every set. Every set. He never tried to attack Irving. See the scripting, if you pay attention, he like, because that's what I looked at. I was like, okay, they gonna have to go to him because Irving's guarding. No, he never flashes in post. Now, when he plays other teams, he did that shit. But when Irving was guarding, he didn't try to post him. I'm looking at this shit like, this is some bullshit right here. You posting everybody else slamming on him, but you got one of the weakest defenders in the league on you, and you don't attack him. You don't attack him. So I thought that was a tell. Durant was hell of a pissed. He was being used as an example. The shaming will pay off in the ring for KD. Well, he got 2 rings already. Curry ain't nothing without those magnets. There you go, Ziggy. He's not. Could be 2. They've wanted to push the Nets. They want to make the Nets more of a national kind of thing. I think Harden's move is more that, trying to put all the light there to make that a power. I don't see them letting Harden win. I just don't. It's like when Randy Moss played for New England. He had a hell of a season, and they used the magnets and the helmet catch, but they wouldn't let Randy Moss win. And I kind of look at Harden like that. I don't think they're going to let Harden win. Because remember, Harden was on the team when they played Miami and LeBron beat them. Harden was on the team then. Pretty sure Harden was on the team then. So he lost the championship then. I don't see them letting Harden win. And that would be my only knock on them, is they don't play good defense. They're not very deep. They had the one player getting hurt. They traded away their best defender, which made no sense at all, to throw him in the trade for Harden, to give up one of their best defenders. Ain't like you brought in Durant is a great defender. Again, he can play a 4 and 5, but he's not the greatest defender. Harden didn't show up that first finals. Well, he was younger too. He's younger. He was a lot younger. Green Bay was going to lose to the Bucks when Green Bay didn't put Jerry Alexander on Mike Evans. Yeah, Mike Evans was the name I was looking for. One play to watch tomorrow is you see Evans on them on the right, and you see press coverage. Look at the rush linebacker and look at that safety. I'm going to give y'all one play that Mike Evans got the touchdown before on 4th and 3. But look for that play again. Evans split out by himself, press coverage. Look where the safety is. Because what Kansas City did before is they put the safety up too far. Again, 4th and 3, thinking it's a run. But you got it was still spread, though. That's what I didn't understand. They went twins left. Then they spread Evans to the right, 4th and 3. Technically, that's a passive formation unless you're going to run a draw or a straight power. Straight power to the right side. Or actually, you could even run to the left because you'd have that tight end there. Evans is playing flanker. I don't even think they had a tight end there. I think they put a back. Let me give you another tell. Another tell to watch is when Kansas City puts their fullback at tight end. I'm trying to think. Let me see what I wrote down about that. So watch that set, because a lot of times they slip him into the tight end. Where did I write this? I'm trying to think. Fullback is, so if you see the fullback at tight end, they put a motion back, but they're going to run, the wide receiver is going to run to the left. So the fullback's going to be the tight end. They're bringing the motion towards them, towards the fullback at tight end. They're going to run to that side. So watch the fullback in as a tight end. So 40-something, whatever his number is, they put him in tight end. They're going to motion the wide receiver to the left, and that wide receiver gets it as he motions to the left. He gets the ball. He gets a handoff. So watch that play with the Kansas City. If you see them slip that tight end, you're going to see the motion coming, and you're going to see the motion player getting the ball. So watch that. You're going to see that. Um, a lot of what the Kansas City runs is they'll run twin left and then they'll run a counter. So they'll have a lot of times they ran trips left, counter to the right. So look for that play. Trips left, counter right. So they ran that. Pick play. Okay, watch this. They'll put so they'll go, they'll clear the backfield and they'll put the running back. So running back would be an extra flanker. So you're going to go twins left, you're going to go twins right, but you're going twins right, flanker, running back, Kelsey. So both of them are going to be off as well. And you're going to see the running back run, because the running back, watch his split. His split will be less. And so he won't be that far out. He'll be, matter of fact, if I'm looking at it, it's going to be short hash. So this play is going to be short hash right. Short hash right. You're going to run twins left. You're going to run Kelsey tight end, and you're going to put the back out the backfield, and you're going to have twins right. But they're going to both be off the line, but you're going to not have the back spread that far. He's going to be in a little bit, and he runs a pick for Kelsey. So watch that as well. And a lot of times what they do too is the Chiefs will run a counter. They'll run a counter off if everybody is, let me see, how did they do it? So if everyone is pressed, no, this would be New England. So if everyone is press coverage, look for New England to run counters as well. I picked that up in New England. So, and I'll try to do that tomorrow. It's going to be, I'm going to have a fun day tomorrow. I was going to stay at home, but something came up that I'm going to have to investigate, if you know what I mean. It's one of them kind of investigations. When you get them invites where you're like, yeah, I think I can hang. You know, like in Trading Places, when Eddie Murphy, they was like, can you go with us? And Eddie Murphy says, yeah, I think I can hang. I'll hang out with y'all. It's one of those deals. I think I can go hang out with you for a minute to see what this is like. So it's one of them things where I'm going to be driving through this zero shit, this minus zero shit. Yeah, their tackle is hurt. Yep. Kansas City lost their tackle. He tore his Achilles, matter of fact. He tore his Achilles not in the championship game. I won't say the game before, but yeah. So there's another player, and I think it's the left tackle. And Pierre-Paul, he's a big guy. The replacement's a big guy, and the replacement had replaced someone else, so he had started before. Someone else had got hurt, and the replacement, dude, 75, I think is his number. He had replaced somebody else on the line and did a decent job, but he going against Pierre-Paul. Pierre-Paul ain't in the Pro Bowl. He's all pro this year. So with some fingers blasted off. Did y'all see them pictures when he blasted his fingers off? Did you know it was two professional football players that blasted their fingers off in the same weekend? There was a DB that you never heard about him again, but he did the same thing. He blasted some of his fingers off, fucking with them fireworks. And I honestly, I almost blew myself up. Messing with him too. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to blow some shit up on you. Messing with him. I watched some shit with feeding me. I tried to buy mortars that was supposed to, shoot a couple at a time. I had lit that shit and barely got out the way, and I saw 2 explosions. It like only went a few feet in the air and blew up. It blew up within feet of me, but I backed up enough. So it ain't hard to blow yourself up, especially you pay more money and get that big thing. Watson ain't in a good position. They fake injuries. Yeah, they do. I think Watson goes to Washington. He doesn't have any power. He signed the contract. He's in a terrible position. It's like, number one, what is his agent thinking? Now, if he just goes to camp like he gonna do pick sixes, they might take him out because they ain't gonna let him embarrass him like that. But he signed the contract to extension. He saw what was done. He saw who the coach was, and he signed the extension. He saw who the owners was. So I think it's all an act. He has no power. I would have let Harding bullshit all season. I would have let him bullshit all season and just to fuck with him. If I owned the team, I wouldn't have gave in to him. He was signed for 2 more years. And he wasn't hurt. Like when Irving said he wasn't going to play for Cleveland, Irving had a knee issue since college. Remember, Irving only played so many games in college because he has a history of injuries. He's injury prone, as they call it. And he said that if you don't trade me, I'm going to have surgery, like what Scottie Pippen did. Scottie Pippen was like, okay, you're not going to pay me my bread. You know it was bogus. But again, Scottie signed the shit. Scottie signed the contract. Then you got Reistoff coming up and I told him not to sign it. Wait a minute. If you as the owner would have told the player, don't sign, this ain't a good contract, how is that good business for you? If you can get over on somebody as an owner, you're going to get over on them. That is the nature of the beast. But yes, it sounds good 30 years later, sounds good. But Scottie forced him into, giving some of that bread up. Harding wasn't in that position. I would have let him just twirl in the wind. But it's part of the script. It's definitely an act with Watson like Harding, same city too. Good point. And if it needs their fans back at full capacity. Again, the Super Bowl is only going to have 25,000 people in a stadium that holds about 80. So I'm smacking again. Do you think the NBA will go broke for their ratings are very low? That's a good point. That is a good point. Let's be honest. All sports are scrimmages. Without fans, they're nothing more than scrimmages. Matter of fact, if you look up a scrimmage, a lot of definitions of scrimmages is going to say without meaning, but some of the references without fans. Most of it will say without meaning, but also you'll see a reference that says games without fans. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at glorified scrimmages. And so it looks more scripted. Last season was like the most scripted looking, and even the games without fans, football looks more scripted. You see it better without the fans. You're hearing everything. It's less convincing. Again, the national championship game stunk as far as ratings. It wasn't a winner. We saw LeBron and them. Their finals stunk. They didn't win the night. So they're facing that. They're facing that. And right now the owners are hurt because the revenue they make is now only just TV money. They're not making any of the money for the merchandise. Well, they're still making a little merchandising money, but not stadium money. And you look at the Rams, Chargers, and the Cat in Vegas, they're bleeding. That's why they gave them an infusion of $30 million each. Think about it. How does the NFL have $30 million each to give to the teams? 32 teams. How did the NFL have that kind of revenue? What is it that the NFL does for revenue other than sell stuff that says NFL, which generally ain't team driven? It's NFL driven. How much do you think people buy that just says a shirt or a hat with the NFL on it? How popular do you think that is? That shit ain't very popular. And not enough where the NFL can just give every team $30 million. But again, they get a part of TV money. It'd be nice did trade freely like the NBA and their other teams trade. Yeah. They probably take our taxes. They will sell VR tickets next. Well, they do that in wrestling. They do that in wrestling right now. Different type of contracts from other sports. Yeah, that's true, James. I agree. Again, what they want to do is they want to make all tickets season tickets. And let's be honest, most people don't want them nosebleed seats. I'll be honest. I've sat in the nosebleeds at the new stadium here in Minneapolis, and it's not bad, honestly, compared to other stadiums I've been in. Like when you sit upstairs of the Timberwolves games, it looks like watching on TV. They look like ants. I mean, it's just you're so far up, it doesn't really look good. In the new stadium, the stadium is so nice, there's not a lot of bad seats in there. I imagine other stadiums could be similar, but the goal is for them to make everybody be a season ticket holder. And it's hard to get them people in the nosebleeds to be season ticket holders. That's the thing. But that's what they want. They want everybody to be season ticket holders. Yeah, they're trying to glorify LaMelo. Yeah, they are. It's like every day you see his brother up for trade. He had a good night. He's had 2 or 3 good games. For for the Pelicans the last few games. He's had three. He's been on a 2 or 3 good game spree where he's shooting the ball a lot better. But yeah, they definitely. And we see the other brother again. They did the shame ritual instead of killing him, which was a good move. I thought that was smart because I said when the other brother got caught in China, I said the show before. I said or that week I said which one will be sacrificed, and damn if it didn't happen in China. It's no way that they didn't. I think what the father did is found a way for the boys not to be killed right now. The father was a played college something, but he was on what did they say? He was on the practice team, the practice squad. I don't think he actually played. I think he was a practice squad player. But that still counts. They can still use that against you. So I think he looked at a way of not having his child die, just shamed, which was a good move. I mean, you if you're looking at the evil in your face and evil saying, well, you got to pay blood for this fame, and you can make a deal with evil to just shame you for now, and evil goes along with it. Not a bad play, you know. It's quick thinking. A lot of people couldn't stand up to evil like that to get that kind of outcome. So they replaced the rim in the Pelicans game to deflect deflect the magnetic rim truth. Wow, I didn't know that. Sell you the helmet and subscription. Yeah, they do that. Read my soul. Oh, that's interesting. Again, if you go to a pro game, just take your time and look at the rim. I don't. Again, I've been to a lot of Timberwolves games. I've been to a lot of Lynx games and been on the court for hours. I would wait when my cousin coached. I would wait for about 45 minutes. If they lost, he would come out pretty quick. But if they won the game, it would take him a while before he came out. But I had a lot of time and nobody paid attention for me to just sit on that rim, look up at it, take pictures. I had a bunch of pictures of rims, and now they seem to be going on Facebook. Uh, but just looking at all the magnetics, all the electronics going into the rims, it's just you see it. You see it. It's more than just the clock, and it's a bunch of shit that shouldn't be on those rims. So we're on to the system. So as street ball players use magnets. Well, I'm not okay. This is the thing. I'm not saying people can't shoot. You go in a pickup game, it's very possible for a dude to hit 10 straight. Never saying that can't happen. I've done it myself. I've played in pickup games where I've scored. I've scored. If we played to 15, I would score 13. I'd let 2 other people get the other 2. Not saying that's not possible. That's possible. But what I'm saying is what's on TV and what's in the colleges, that's where it is. Now, you say in pickup games, like somebody asked before about the and one. Did they doctor the and one hoops? Very, very doubtful. Very doubtful. Because again, they would come into like I watched them play when they came to Kalamazoo at my high school. Obviously, they didn't doctor the rims for that. And they played a lot of games like that where they just went to the common high school. But they did Globetrotter tricks, and they would score a lot, though. Now, I don't remember if they beat the local team in Michigan or not. I don't remember. So, no, those games I don't think are. They did remove a wire from the rim while replacing it. Interesting. And that had to take a while to replace rims. That takes a while. Do you feel like Lamar Jackson hasn't given up the ghost yet? Reasons why the powers that hasn't propelled him? I think he's accepted his script. Remember the script that they gave him a year ago, he was unstoppable until the shaming of the playoffs. When all he had to do was get a first down, and of course he doesn't run to the hole. He tries to run backwards. Remember, he turns his back and tries to run backwards instead of trying to dive over to get the first down. So he has agreed to the shaming, and he got shamed again this year. All the knocks they were saying about him, they shamed him again this year. Almost shamed it to the point where Harborough looked like his job might have been in jeopardy with the shaming. So we'll see if he hangs on. But I don't know. I went to a Globetrotters game. They hit half court shot dozens in a row. Yeah, I would say most of Globetrotters games they have their basket manipulation. Um, the one that could do that though was Goose Tatum. Goose Tatum started that shit. And I've watched some film of Goose Tatum make it a bunch of times. He didn't have no damn magnet, so I'm not saying that it's not possible, because you can see some old Goose Tatum where Goose Tatum would do that shit from both sides. He would throw a hook from one side, half court, make it. He would walk on the other side and do the other. So Goose Tatum didn't have any magnets. And then they had Metal doing it. It makes me wonder because, again, Metal played during the 70s when they did have some technology. When we see these Guinness Book of World Records and the Globetrotters being involved, we know that the magnetics are being used. Looks like the college system, though. I don't think they use the pro system. They use the college system, it appears. So I do see that. Oh, I'm smacked again. Sorry, guys. What happened to your wrist? I have carpal tunnel again, and they give me this for my wrist to rest because my hand to go to sleep. So I probably need, like, I had carpal tunnel, and honestly, I had the best hand doctor in the state, and it just wasn't her day. She came 2 hours late, and just, I don't know. I was supposed to have orthoscopic surgery. She cut all up into my hand. She's saying I got all this fat in my hand. And I got fat in my belly, but I don't know how much damn fat would be in my hand. And so this is just a way for my wrist to rest from carpal tunnel. It keeps my wrist resting and my hand don't fall asleep. So I was talking about the other day, they want to give me that Thanos shit, and I might go back and get it, to be honest. But there was some Thanos shit, and this shit was all black and came about here, all kind of. So I don't know. I didn't really like it, and especially they said it was $180, and I wasn't sure if my insurance will pay for it. I think they will though. So I didn't take that thing, but it just rests my hand, so I can still sock a dude. But it's just a way to rest my hand. Kentucky basketball sucks. Duke's basketball sucks this year. Yeah, that's, and remember, some of them dudes from Duke came in with Zion. Some of them guys came in with Zion. That are juniors now, or maybe they're seniors. They came in with Zion, that class that was supposed to be so ballyhooed, and they ain't hooping. Yeah, Kentucky, he didn't get the best players. But that's just the act as well. That's just the act to shame them teams. You see how Duke was going in. Remember, look at what Duke did. They had the bullshit on the jerseys, justice and all that shit. So they're playing a role this year. They're playing a role. Knicks are really actually decent this year. And it's funny, I was listening to somebody and that I didn't know. I don't know if it was Wiley, but do you know the most prosperous team in the NBA is the Knicks? The most prosperous team in the league the last 20 years is the Knicks. And they ain't won shit in forever. They ain't won a championship since 75. And they ain't won shit since. A little bit with Albert King. A little bit when Larry Johnson, Sprewell was there, but no championships. But yet they're one of the most prosperous teams from the last 20 years. So that's like looking at the Lions. You ain't got to win to be winning at the bank. You dig that? You ain't got to win to win at the bank. And people wouldn't think that. People would not think that. So they got the draft picks. They was really counting on getting Zion. But look, isn't it funny? They did the same thing to Cleveland that they did to the Pelicans. The best player leaves. LeBron leaves to Miami. And then they get Bennett, number 1 pick. And then they get Irving, number 1 pick. How is that possible? But then you see the same thing. Anthony leaves, Pelicans get the top pick. You see how they redid a script. It was the same exact script that was done for Bennett. And Bennett was a bust, which surprised me because my son and I watched Bennett play at UNLV one night. I had them going to the Final Four. I was so impressed with his game. And then he got in the tournament and didn't do shit. He got in the league and didn't do shit. He was in one of them TNT games, not this past summer, but the summer before he played. And still, guy made a lot of money, but not like Jamar Russell. He made a lot of money, but he was shamed his whole career. But they gave him his bread. You ain't heard about him being poor. He tried to get in some other league too. I don't know if that worked out for him, but he got 33 million. Don't forget that. So you may say he was a bust, but his pockets ain't a bust. He just didn't get fame. He got money, but he didn't get fame. So what would you rather have? 33 million and no fame, fame and not the 33 million. What would you rather have? I would rather have that one where, like Richard Pryor said, I'd rather be in that long line. Give me the bread, fuck the fame. Make me lose every year, but give me more bread. That's how I would look at it. Let me lose every year. Yeah. The Knicks ain't won championships. Oh, 73, excuse me, not 75. So they won in 70 and then they won in 73, right? 69, 70 season. And then they must have won 72, 73. And then Wilt's team won 71, 72 when they went 32 and 0. They won 32 straight games, which probably won't be broken. And that Knicks team should not have beat Wilt. Should not have beat Wilt. Game 6, Wilt scores 42 points on Dave DeBusschere on something like 20 rebounds. They play game 7. Reed comes out. He can barely walk. And Bill Russell is right. Reed is at the elbow. Wilt's under the basket. Why? But you know what? I caught on film before game 7, Wilt and Walt Frazier shake hands, and they do the Mason hand shaking like this. You know, where you shake hands like that. I caught that before game 7 on tape, and I was like, oh, Wilt agrees. So Wilt didn't play aggressive against. He lets Willis Reed just shoot open. You got a man that can barely run, and you don't press him. So you run down back on defense after they win the jump or you scored, and you stay under the basket and you let your man who can barely run and jump, you let him shoot a couple open shots. That's not believable. 70s planners, that shit wasn't believable at all. That shows Wilt was in on it, though. And like Draco shows, with the Don Nelson shot, Wilt ain't in there. They held Wilt out the last 2-3 minutes. All they want to do is get some spray. They have spray that's like ice to take some inflammation down because Wilt was having knee trouble. And Wilt just wanted to come out. His knee was hurting. Spray that cold shit on it. Put your knee pad back up or knee brace and go back out there. No. He holds Wilt out. And then Don Nelson hits that bouncing shit that was probably manipulated. Yeah, I saw Drew Pearson made it. Not like, was Drew Pearson better than Bob Hayes? That's what I looked at. Like Drew Pearson was pierced because Carmichael made it last year. But Carmichael changed the game because he was the first big receiver. Plus he had that shooting dice with the football at the end. That shit was sweet. But I put Carmichael over Drew Pearson. I put Bob Hayes over Drew Pearson. And they ain't gonna let Bob Hayes in the Pro Bowl, in the Super Bowl, in the Hall of Fame. They barely wanted to put Bob Hayes in the Ring of Honor because he got busted with cocaine. But look at Bob Hayes' stats. And look at Drew Pearson. He ain't that much better, or if even is he better? I thought Bob Hayes should be in the Hall of Fame. If you looked at his records when he played, not comparing him to now, but comparing him to the people when he played, he should be in the Hall of Fame. But then they're never going to let Bob Hayes go in the Hall of Fame because he got like Jim Marshall. Jim Marshall, you got Alan Page in the Hall of Fame. You got Carl Eller in the Hall of Fame, but you don't have Jim Marshall in the Hall of Fame because Jim Marshall got busted with cocaine. You got the guy at one point played the most consecutive games. Jim Marshall played like 18 seasons. All pro, not just Pro Bowl, all pro player. And they're not going to put Jim Marshall in the Hall of Fame because of the cocaine bust. But yet, you put his mates in. Because if I'm not mistaken, Carl Eller and Alan Page played on the same side. Lurchma, and it was a dude named Bob. Bob Rowe. Bob Rowe was one of them from Western Michigan. Bob Rowe played next to Jim Marshall, and Lurchma played next to Jim Marshall too. So Carl Eller had all pro player. Matter of fact, if I don't know if y'all remember, Alan Page was the MVP of the league as a defensive player. Back then they didn't have offense defense. It was just MVP. Alan Page, when they lost to my Raiders, I want to say it was that season, which would have been Willie Brown. What was that? 74? 76? I can't remember right now. But Alan Page was the MVP of the league. But so it's no way that Jim Marshall shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Well, Jim Marshall ran a touchdown in the wrong way. He caught a fumble and he ran back the wrong way. And he threw the ball up in the air thinking he scored. But it was actually safety or touchback. It would have been a touchback. Touchback. He actually touched the ball back. So Calvin Johnson was so talented, my favorite. Yeah, Calvin Johnson. But Calvin Johnson was tight at, I don't know if you watch ACC football. When he played at Georgia, man, we ain't been in the playoffs when Melo was there. Yeah, that's true. Melo's always been my favorite player to watch. I don't mind his game. I like Calvin Johnson too. They did that bogus thing where he caught the ball. He caught it with one hand, held it, but then when he went down, he put it on the ground. And they called that incomplete, which was some bullshit. It's a bullshit. He caught the ball, he scored a touchdown, and just to steady himself, he put the ball against the ground. That's completing the catch to me. Do you feel like Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky men's basketball going through a shaming ritual? Yeah, I do. GR, I think it is. That's what they do. They shame these people every now and then. Remember, Kentucky was the one and done capital. Then Duke started doing it. They had to agree. They had to agree that you're not going to see. The problem that made me hate Duke was he would always look for the best European player to put in his program. Every year he recruits, he tries to get the top European players. Well, top European players ain't trying to go to Duke anymore. They go into Gonzaga and they go into these other schools. So he's not getting the number one European player in the world. He is getting like the 4 and 5s. So that's what happened. Whereas Kentucky would take anybody. The best players he's trying to put in, but again, they're not trying to go there. And I do believe Kentucky is on probation. I think Arizona is on probation. I could be wrong, Kentucky. I know Arizona is. So, these places ain't the greatest anymore. And Duke is a private college. Campus is kind of fun. I've been on Duke colleges. It's Durham, Raleigh. I forget which one, Raleigh or Durham. That's a fun area. The worst school is Utah or Brigham Young. You can't get any booty. They'll put you out the team. Remember in the playoffs, it was a player, a center that went to Brigham Young, BYU. He had got a little booty, and they wouldn't let him play in the tournament. You imagine they went up to the girl and was like, "Did you give that guy some booty? Come on, it's against our Mormon rules. You cannot give up booty. Come on." I mean, do you imagine the interview? Like how you ask her, did she give him some? And why would she say yes? She knew if she said yes, the brother wouldn't get to play. But like my friend that went to Utah, and I'm not going to say his name except that he plays at North Carolina State. They said he had, my son said, this cat, again, Utah is Utah. You're not supposed to get booty in Utah if you're not married. And this cat had sex in the stadium, in the basketball coliseum. And that's how he got kicked out of Utah. So it's like, okay, baby, let's go in the stadium. I got a key or it's open, and let's find somewhere that don't get that, but different people's things. But the BYU girl, can you imagine that? Did you give him some? Like who was the accuser? Like who went up and said, "Oh, I think your center got some." How do you know this? He just has a different look. He just has a more confident look, and I think he got some. And so they go to the girl like, "Did you give him some?" Like, why would the girl tell the truth? Did you and Zachary do something? Why would she tell? I would lie to the end. Prove it. Prove that I had relationships with that girl. And he didn't get to play in the tournament. They held him out. They had their righteousness shit. I blow big stacks. He does actually a good job. He's got pretty good talent too. He's been a good recruiter, which surprises me that he's been such a good recruiter. So yeah, I'm impressed with him. He gets the kids. Tubby, I think when Tubby Smith lost his job here, I think Tubby was really counting on getting Shotty Vaughn. Was another cat that played at Cooper. No, he went to Cooper. Where did that guy end up going? Man, I can't think of his name. He only played one season at Cooper, but I thought Tubby was going to get him, and he didn't. But Tubby was counting on getting Shotty Vaughn, and when he didn't get a Shotty, they fired Tubby. And Shotty ended up going to Vegas. But before Shotty's senior year, Shotty played his senior year at a prep school in Vegas. And then Shotty made McDonald All-American. So, but that's what got Tubby fired. But yeah, Rick Pitino's son does a good job. I think it's Rick Jr. I can't think of his name. Why do you think Jerry Jones refuses to hire a black coach, either for head coach or the coaching staff? Well, we know why. How's that going to sell in Dallas? They ain't going to sell there. They barely can have Dak being the quarterback. It is Texas, remember? So that's against his thing. Remember, he wasn't even with the dudes that was kneeling. Remember how they did the stage kneeling? They did the kneeling. He's locked arms with everybody because, again, when he was able, and now he ain't able. These dudes done got old. He ain't able like he used to be. Jerry Jones got to be close to 80, if not 80. Let's look. They'll tell how old. And the cats can't keep their eye on everything. But yeah, I don't think Dallas would love that. I don't think they would love brother being quarterback. College, yes. Jerry. I put Jerry. Jerry. All right, here we go. How old is this fucker? Oh, okay. So he's 78. Just turned 78. So he's younger than my mother. They say he's worth $8.4 billion. Wow. Wow. He has a yacht that costs. Why would they put the price of his yacht? He has a $250 million yacht. Who cares? And he's supposed to have made all his money in gas. He's probably a character. I just don't see that the when ticket sales is an option that the Texas people would support that. I just don't think they would support it. They'll support it in college. And it's like Charlie Strong. You talking about a coach that was ego driven. How do you cut your top 8, 9 players? Senior players. Well, not seniors, but veterans. And then you suck as a coach. And I would have fired his ass as soon as he cut them people. Talking about we can't, because he got challenged. He had them veterans there. They was hearing his rah-rah shit, and they challenged him. He cut his top talent because he thought it was him that could make Texas great in his style. He wasn't qualified for the position. Wasn't bringing in the children. Plus, you cut your 8 or 9. I would have fired him for doing that. As soon as he did that, I'd be like, yeah, buddy, we're going to give you a little pay and we're going to cut you. Because why should we pay you and you get rid of our top talent? That makes no sense. It wasn't like he was cutting just scrubs. He was cutting some of the top players in the country. They went on to other schools and had good careers because of his ego. They love courting other people's money that way. Yeah, they do. Exactly. GR. They do. Oh, how long have I been going? What time is it? Man, I didn't get that much sleep last night. I went to bed at 5 and I had to be up at 11. My daughter opening the door on me. Like, Dad, I'm here. I'm like, go away, let me sleep. I'm here, Dad. Go away. Go out there and watch TV. I'll get up in about 4 hours. No, Dad. You got to get up. Yeah. And then I tried to take a nap and it didn't work. Remember told me Vince Young is the assistant athletic director. They picked Vic, they fired Vince Young for his second or third DUI. And Vince Young probably drank himself, became a drunk after he got cut from playing. Again, they put him in a messed up situation with Fisher. Fisher never wanted him. And not that Young didn't have talent. Young did have talent. It's, again, they shame these players and they pick them. And he wasn't one that was picked. But Young just got hired Texas. He just they rehired him. So he was only let go for a few seasons, got his shit together and sobered up and got over it. And so, this is the thing that you have to love about Texas. And we saw the same thing with Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell has you go to the capital of Texas, they got Earl Campbell's name with what was his name? Houston. Like they got little things in the cement that show Sam Houston and all the Texas Rangers and shit. They got Earl Campbell's name with that shit. I mean, that's how much they love their football players. And so Vince Young is forever a champion. He brought a championship to Texas. So they seem pretty faithful to their ex-players. And, they're giving him a chance, which is cool. Because again, what else can this brother do? What kind of skills does he bring to somewhere? And so when you don't have a whole lot of options like that, it looks better if you work for the college. So the college can say that he did become something because he came to Texas. And so what they're doing now is, yes, he made his mistakes. He owned up to them. He's a better man, in the best position that he can be in is representing the university. So Texas takes care of their people like that. And you have to admire that. That they look out like that, because some schools do. Some schools don't want to see their ex guys, be bums. DePaul ain't like that, because I want to say Teddy Gribbs. They said Teddy Gribbs was on the subways. I mean, Teddy Gribbs, again, one of the best college games you can ever see is Larry Bird playing DePaul with Mark Aguirre. Teddy Gribbs is one of the guards. But they say within a few years, something happened to him. He riding the L's in Chicago naked. They put him in a loony bin. So what happened to him? I don't know. I don't know if he was on crack. I can't say. But how do you go from being on national TV, top player? There's some issues there. But that could be in the shaming ritual as well. Don't know. They love counting other people's money. Yeah, they do. My brother told me Vince Young's, they owe him. He made them exactly. Like Chris Webber. Chris Webber was the one that showed that the NCAA was hypocrites. Like Chris said, I can't even put gas in my car, which was a lie because he was getting money from Ed Martin, but that's a different story. But his point was, here I am, I can't put gas in my car, which was a lie, but they selling my jerseys for $80 and I'm not getting anything about it. Just like the college with the video games. Now the colleges got to pay everybody, even the ex-players. Current players get a little bit, ex-players get a little bit. You can't use them like that anymore, which makes sense. I mean, what the colleges do now is give the top players stipends. Now, do you think Brown and Yale give their players stipends when they don't even give scholarships? Some colleges don't give scholarships. Northwestern, I think, is one that doesn't give scholarships for sports. Harvard and Yale, I don't think they give scholarships either. You'd have to look it up, but I don't think they do. But yeah, that's one thing you brought up is I hate, like, Chris Collinsworth is the worst about counting people's pockets. That's that's just like that. But they shame everybody. It ain't just the brothers they shame. They shame the Europeans too. Well, that big tackle right there. That's why they paid him 75 million. Why are you bringing up? Why are you counting his pockets? That's some of the bullshit that they do. That's really just like should be. It should be people talking up against that. That announcers shouldn't be able to do that, but they don't. They shame them on stupid shit when they shame the announcers. But that should be something that somebody should approach them. Or when they get interviewed, they should say, "Why are you counting my pockets?" And the league wants them to do it. Chris Collinsworth ain't doing that on his own. It's a bunch of announcers that do that shit. But it irks me when I hear Collinsworth does it. Here was a marginal player that I bet he never had a big money. He make more money now than when he played. I bet he never made $1 million a year when he played, but now he makes it as an announcer. But he didn't make it as a player. Second round pick, slow dude. Well, I mean, I guess he was a track dude. Florida, maybe. I don't remember. So yeah, they do owe Vince Young that. I agree. Well, guys, I'm kind of running out of stuff to say. I am gonna have to get up early and cook for some people I don't like. No, I cook for my children. I'm gonna have a fun day tomorrow. I got some shit planned that came up, and I was like, oh, okay, that might have possibility of some fun. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. Even though it's cold, I wasn't gonna move around. Sometime you gotta move around. So I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. You know, again, I never have a one topic or one subject. That's why it's the Chocolate Mountain Show. The show is not planned. There's a lot of different things that could come up. I don't care if I talk sports the whole time or I can talk spirituality. I am not like just one straight stiff dude. I can kind of relate in any kind of ways. And that's how everyone has to be. You can't just be tied into one thing all the time. If I just sit here and just strictly was trying to force some stuff, it's not genuine. But the way I try to be is I try to free flow. And again, I'll repeat myself. I do not want to have this kind of system where we are putting down other people. That is something that I don't think it should be used for. You have your opinion on what they are. You know what they are. You ain't got to come to me and convince me one way or the other. I see this shit. I see it, y'all. It ain't that I don't see it. So I understand. But we trying to build. We trying to raise vibrations. And if you're thinking about other folks, you ain't really raising your vibrations like that. Especially if you bring in negativity to it. Leave all negativity alone. You know what you know. So you don't got to state it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I ain't got to step on other people to go forward. Because I don't want somebody to step on me to go forward. So I ain't got to do that to nobody. Now, I think someone might have harmed me. So yeah, they've been having some restful nights. Because when it's time to get serious with this spiritual shit, well, there are ways to get ego-driven payback. Oh, and let me proclaim again, we're going to ask every day for the Bible back. You guys know what we ask, what I'm asking for. You got the Bible. And if you don't return it, okay, it's going to be hard on you, America, or whoever. If you don't return that Bible back, you guys have it. We know you have it. If it comes back to us spiritually instead of the final one, our power is going to grow. And you know this. So give it back to us. One more thing. Frankie Edgar got need. What? James, one more thing. Frankie Edgar got need. Oh, and USC. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. I have to look that up. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I'll check that out. I'll check that out. Well, guys, this has been The Chocolate Mountain Show. I am 8 Win Eagle. I thank you. Or I am 8. This is the channel of 8 Win is Timeless. And I do appreciate the comments. Well, I'm glad you enjoy. That's very kind. Yes, very kind. And look for me tomorrow night. I'm gonna take all the equipment with me and see where I can set up. But because I'm leaving and I don't know one place I'm going, I don't know about the internet there. Excuse me, internet there. If I go to my son's, it's gonna be really rowdy and loud. So we'll see. But I do plan on broadcasting during the game, calling plays and shit. So again, as I always end my show with Eshawn's poem. So I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gang banger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. 8 Wind is Timeless. Thank you, everyone. Till we meet again.